today. Hope you guys to the Thursday. Man, the week goes fast. Before you know it, it'll be Christmas. Right there. Then you'll be at Valentine's Day, etc., etc. Time moves quickly. When you want things to slow down, they just don't. So I'm driving to court this morning. Been up since my alarm was for 5:30, but I think I got out of the bed at like 5:45, 5:50, and started taking care of the pups, getting things handled for the morning, and preparing my mind. I got a couple of cases on the docket. I have a case at 8:30, pretty serious case, second-degree felony. Filed a basic motion and hoped to hear back from a prosecutor, but it just never happened. And yeah, just never happened. No comment on that. This afternoon I have a motion. I'm preparing for that. I need to print out some more case law and just going through it. It's a beautiful day. Although I didn't actually watch the sunrise, it was dark as I walked outside my home, and I looked up and I could just, the light was slowly rising, and it's nice to get up early. Now, I didn't put a sweatshirt on or a hat, and I don't know what the temperature is. My goodness, it feels like it's 30 degrees, but I know it's not. It's probably like 55 or something. And but I clean out the water bowls in the morning and take care of the dogs, and my hands were just freezing. I'm hoping that everybody had an outstanding week. It really is what you make of it. It's all about perspective. It's the other day I was upset about a couple of things, and I had a friend on Facebook who, former Alabama player, just maybe I think a year or two before I was there, and I knew his brothers, and they played on the team with me, and he has ALS. And I was just thinking, my goodness, like he really put things in perspective. I was having a tough day, thinking like, oh, I got to deal with this and I got to deal with this. And I see this man who, I reach out to pretty frequently, and I read his posts almost daily, who's going through one of the most difficult times anyone could ever go through. Having ALS, he was given 2 years to live, and he's at year 10. But he's confined to a wheelchair. He can't move his body, can't talk. He can communicate with a computer, and I'm not even sure how he does that, because I don't know that he can use his hands or his legs at all. And he was just talking about, being in the chair, being rewarded, acknowledged for some things that he's done for ALS and for his coaching. He not only did he play at Alabama, he went on to go to the pros, and then he went on to coach in the pros. And when you read his writings, they're just so beautiful and eloquent, and they really bring you in. And his faith is so strong. His faith in God and Jesus is so strong. It gets him through, because how tough is that, right? He can't feed himself. He can't clean himself. He's confined to a wheelchair, yet this man finds the beauty in every day. In every day, he shares the gospel. He breaks it down in the 2024 version of maybe things he's going through or something he's read about. And for me, it just it makes me think, hey, Roger, what are you complaining about? What, that someone didn't call you back, or someone someone disagreed with the way you think? So what? It's not that. And it's weird that in comparison, in contrast, we learn. And I'm learning that even though I may have struggles and obstacles, it's okay. That's part of life. It's part of the journey. And you just have to stay positive. You got to put yourself in the book, and you got to pray, and you got to try to do the right thing. And when you do all of those things, life gets better. Those struggles are a little bit easier when you give things to the man upstairs. It's hard. I struggle with it, but it's yeah, I feel better. And again, I woke up this morning. The sun is rising, and I'm happy to be alive. I'm happy that although I'm nervous about different cases that I have, different arguments I need to make, that's not where my fear should ever be. My fear should be what I'm doing or not doing as a Christian, not spreading the word. But I guess I got the heat on because I can smell that. I didn't realize I'm so cold as I got in the car. I turned the heat up all the way. It's like 80 in here. Christmas is here, and I'm excited. We're staying here this year. Going to travel in the beginning of February, and maybe go away for, I think, 10 days, and just go to a different part of the country and check things out. But I feel good. I got up early. I gave me that ginger root shot, and she's like, "You want me to make you a protein shake?" And I go, "No, I think I want hot chocolate." It's so cold outside. I just come inside from handling the dogs. And then I went, on second thought, I got court and I got a lot going on. Maybe just make it a hot tea with some honey in it. I don't want the chocolate to run through me or anything. So, I wonder if I could change the camera around. Can I do that? No, I can. Look at that. Look at that beautiful sunrise, guys. How beautiful it is in the morning, minus the traffic. I'm on Indian Town Road in Jupiter. As each person goes on about their day. Today's gonna be a good day. Look at that sky. Some blue, some gray, just nice. Seems like the only time that I get up as the sun's rising, or I get to see it, is when we go somewhere and my wife drags me to the window or whatever. But it always seems like it's on vacation. I don't feel like I appreciate it. I'm not a guy that's up at 4:30 and having a cup of coffee or anything as the sun comes up. I'm gonna have my home backs up to a preserve, so it's a nice view. It's not a water view, but it's a nice sky view, and I just don't take advantage of it. Probably be nice to sit out there early morning, and even though I don't drink coffee, a cup of tea or a cup of hot chocolate, especially on these cold days. But I'm always go. It's always to the next destination, to the next problem, to the next case. Look at that. Even that's just a beautiful picture. And like I'm in traffic, right? But it's just nice. Look at that sky. We all are blessed. We all are blessed that we woke up this morning. That there are people in our lives that appreciate us, care for us. I like those Suburbans, but man, they're so expensive. Chevy Suburban, right? Was when I was a kid growing up, it was like, hey, that's a good car just to consider a big car. Now it's like this $100,000 car. I like it, but I don't need it. I was thinking about doing a series of videos, not really related to the law, but related to people that have meant something, that have been significant in my life. From fourth grade, I think of my fourth grade teacher, Mr. Wallach, who kind of inspired me. Up until fourth grade, I was really behind in math and reading, and even there was like a section of the day where you'd go with someone to help you, especially with your reading. And Mr. Wallach was a guy who inspired me with food, dried apples, dates, and ice cream. As a kid of modest means, food was a motivator. And we would have these word sentences in fourth grade. I guess that's when you really start the math. 2 times 5 plus 3 minus 6 divided by 3 times 4, word sentence, math sentence. And we would have, he would line the kids up, and we would have our back to the board, right, to the chalkboard. And we would be on the other side of the classroom. So the 2 students that were up, we'd do 2 at a time. He would write the exact same math problem on each side of the board. It's a big board. And once he was finished, he would say, on your mark, get set, go. And you'd turn around and you'd run towards the blackboard as you're trying to read the problem and start figuring out the math. And that was my first moment of success, where I was able to excel and win those little competitions. And craziest thing, right in the middle of the day, right? It could be like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, whatever. And whoever won, and he would probably do this. Let's see if we're connected again. So Mr. Wallach would have these math problems. You turn around, you run up to the chalkboard, 2 students at a time, and he would narrow it down. So you would spend part of the morning or the afternoon doing these problems. And let's say you start out with, I don't know, 26 kids, right? You have 13 rounds, then you go down and down and down, and until there's 1 student. And up until that time, I really didn't have any confidence in really anything. You're just a small boy. But Mr. Wallach helped pull that out of me, pull that initial competition with my fellow students. And God knows I was no, A student, that's for sure. But I started to think about making a tribute to each of the people, because I think it would be a cool trend on the internet for people to talk about who inspired them and why. And there's so many people, right? It doesn't have to be a famous person. If you're a musical artist, it doesn't have to be, a musical artist that inspired you. It's the regular people. It's the people that you come into contact. It's family members, it's friends, it's relatives of friends. Each person makes an imprint on our lives. And half the time we don't ever say anything. Like it feels like at the end, you might. I wrote something about Professor Massey in law school in UM. I mean, I took her for civil procedure, and I think civil procedure 1 and 2, and she was the toughest teacher. I mean, tough as nails. And I was so scared that I would fail her class, and I ended up doing well, because that leadership that she presented, that way of teaching, I don't know, worked with me. I mean, there were some people that failed out because of those classes, but I was so scared to fail that I put in the time, I put in the dues, and that woman was one of the pioneers. Her writing ability, her moral code, all the things that she was involved in. I think she was the first female dean of a law school at University of Miami. And it's wonderful to say things about people after they've passed, but wouldn't it be a lot better to let these folks know the imprint that they've made, the dent that they've made on your life in a positive way while they're still here? So I thought about making a series of all the different people, the coaches, people that have meant something to me. And some have passed already, but I remember when one of my boxing coaches passed away, Coach Carter. I didn't know it. I was on a plane traveling, and I was just, in my mind, I was thinking about him, and I looked him up, and it appeared that he had passed away. And I searched, and I reached out to his daughter, and wrote her a letter and just said, hey, I just want to let you know, you've never met me before, but your dad was instrumental in my boxing career, was instrumental in my formation as a young man. In 7th grade, I met him, and he gave me positive feedback. He was a mentor, and he was a mentor to dozens, hundreds, thousands of young young men and women that boxed in Brentwood, Long Island. And I think about these people. Sometimes when I'm driving to work, it's not all legal stuff, folks, right? I just like you all, you think about your work, and of course it preoccupies you, but you have these moments where you see something triggers a thought to your past, and you think, man, that guy, Coach Carter, that guy was, and he shaved for nothing. He showed up to help kids to get off the streets, to learn how to fight, how to protect themselves, how to compete. And sure, what reward do you get? He was a PAL coach. He was a former police officer. So not every police officer is on my crappy list, right? There are some who have made a difference in my life, and hopefully there's more that will make differences in other young men and other young ladies' lives. Think about a gentleman who I kind of refer to as an uncle right now. His name's Jim Stables, and he lives in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. And when I first got to Tuscaloosa, I was struggling. I was a walk-on, and man, the competition's tough over there, And he kind of helped me move up the depth chart. I forget what I started at. I don't know. It was like everybody when you show up there. Whoa, almost an accident there. And Jim would help me with plays, going through the playbook. I mean, and mentor me, and just was there, just a thing, and introduced me to his girlfriend, who ultimately became his fiance and his wife, and they're still married now today. And when I'm in Tuscaloosa, I always stop and see them, just not there very often. But I just remember the cold days in Tuscaloosa and Jim going, "Hey, what's going on?" And I'm like, "Nothing, just got done with practice." He's like, "Hey, man, on Saturday, um, if you want, why don't you come over and, I'm going to make my famous chili. I'm going to make my famous chili, and why don't you come over and have some?" And I remember just thinking, like, what a great guy, what a nice guy. Um, and I formed a lifelong friendship with Jim Stables. Um, Jim is also very versed in the Bible. He has written books on comparative religion. Just an educated guy, and I know he has. I forget the name of his blog. He has a blog, and admittedly, I don't read it as much as I should. But the guy just understands things and breaks complex things down and into simpler versions for us not so bright folks. But think about who it is in your life. Could be a parent, could be a sibling, could be a neighbor, could be a distant relative. It could be, I mean, it could just be anyone, a teacher, a guidance counselor, a coach. Think about the effects that they've had on you. And I don't know. Maybe rather than just talk about it, I got to start it, right? I gotta pick somebody who meant something to me, and I don't know if I start to go in chronological order and start with, Mr. Wallach, my fourth grade teacher, or not. Um, but I think it would be really cool for folks to talk about that. There's such crap on the internet. You go on and everybody's dancing and showing their rear end and I don't know, arguing about politics, and just like to see positive stories that inspire. If you could, again, and people are wordy. I'm super wordy, guys, but listening to each individual, right? Because I come into contact, I walk into a parking lot, I come into contact with people. I'm in a store, I come into contact, right? Life is about those around you. I mean, look at all the cars around me. Each person has a story, and each person has some piece of information that has helped them through another person, right? Through someone, a mentor of some type. And that information could be shared. And we could take those positive stories and share them across the internet, across the country, across the world. And I bet there's a story or two or three or a dozen that are going to motivate you, the individual, that are going to make you think about your life and inspire you to do something better, to take advantage, to carpe diem, to seize the day. And I think it's, I don't know, a wonderful thing to learn from others, to get motivated. It's not just about what I do today, it's about what you do today. And, our collective efforts of how we can impact society in such a positive way. But I don't know. I just think of those things. Good morning, guys. I see there's a few people. Sometimes I wonder if anyone's ever even listening. I just decide to go on. Look at this traffic. Goodness gracious. Um, yeah, I like the positive stuff, and I want to see more of it. Um, when I look at traffic, right, and I know you can't see it as well as I can see it, but you ever see like an ant colony and how the ants are shuffling back and forth, or if you see a herd of cattle, how they're being shuffled into, the corral or whatever. I that's the thought that, I just like, we're all being shuffled to a destination. How much input do we have on the destination? Uh, we are yeah, mankind, so similar to the smallest of species. And I left my house. It usually takes me 35 minutes to get to the office, 40 minutes to get to the courthouse. And I'm already at 30 minutes, and I'm not there yet. I think I'm still like a good 15, 20 minutes by the time I get parking and all that. Ugh, the traffic. Dun, dun, dun. It's nice to see South Florida cold. I don't know if was it last Christmas or the Christmas before. We actually had a cold Christmas. My family and I, our extended family, everybody was at the house. My in-laws live with us. They didn't go in, but we all did like an ice plunge. The water in the pool was super cold. I don't know what it was, because it was probably like 50 outside. The pool was similar, and jumping into that cold water, and we just went under under to our shoulders, and it was like, and it was just something silly to do on Christmas Day. Think about those moments. I think we got some pictures. It'd be cool if I was like an editing machine and I could take this and put it on and go and then show you pictures of, Mr. Wallach, my fourth grade teacher, and Jim Stables in Tuscaloosa, my boxing coach, Coach Carter, and my other boxing coach, Coach Pena, in Iowa, who made a huge difference, was one of the junior Olympic coaches, and coached Antoine Eccles, an Olympian, and Michael Nunn, who, was a world champion, and, just dozens of other young men that he changed. No, it's yellow, it's yellow, it's yellow, it's yellow, it's yellow, it's yellow. It's still yellow. Oh, I made it under, guys. Look at that. And I didn't even speed up. I just kept it. Caught it this one, though. Caught this one. It's crazy when you see the people that go through. There's so many accidents on this road. People like flying through intersections that are clearly red. Pittsburgh, you're my favorite Thursday morning quarterback, Roger. I appreciate that, brother. My poor dirt farmer channel. I don't know what that means, but love the idea. Thanks, Rebecca. Blue Steel, bro's got Cybertruck in front of him. Good morning from Gainesville, Florida, down in the swamp. Yes, sir. Tim Tebow, one of my favorites, even though Florida was, SEC opposition in my years at Alabama. Got love for the Gators for sure. And again, super motivated by that quarterback that you guys had, Tim Tebow. What a gentleman. What a leader. No wonder why you guys beat us in those SEC championships when he was over there. I think you beat us 2 years in a row. I don't even know. Sometimes I can't even tell if the thing is recording. Go Gators. Man, a lot of teams struggled this year. I don't know what the Gators record was, right? But they didn't do too well either. Alabama had a very off year. I mean, losing to Oklahoma was honestly shocking. I felt like could have just run the ball and beat them, but I don't know. I think they throw too much. Um, I'm looking at this Cybertruck to my left, and how do you even like sit in the back seat if you're 6'4"? I don't think you could. I took a Prius for a drive about a week ago, 2 weeks ago now, and yeah, 2 weeks ago, and I couldn't even get in the damn thing. I had to like bend my neck, and I'm going, my goodness, if I ever, once I was in, I was comfortable because the seat lowers, but getting in and out, there's no way. It's just too low. And when you make these cars aerodynamic, that there's no space. I got to be able to sit in the back seat, and front seat. Really, I'm gonna Lincoln Lawyer thing, and I'm gonna get someone to drive for me. My wife drove me to work the other day, and she's like, "Sir, where would you like to go?" And it was just a fun day. I was tired, and my wife's like, "You want me to take you to work?" And she had off that day, so she drove me around. I had court. We went to lunch, but I had a driver for the day, for the afternoon, really. So, hi guys, I'm almost to court. That's where the fun happens. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it's fun. Sometimes it's not so fun. So I guess today we'll. Oops, there's a piece of glass in the road, so I'm going to wait. Yeah, court can be exciting and court can be difficult. You know, dreams of freedom can come true, and nightmares of incarceration can come true. It all depends on your facts, work ethic of your attorney, passion of your attorney. How, whether there's a good police officer doing their job properly, or being discombobulated, whether you got a fair prosecutor or one that ignores facts, or one that's tough on crime. I mean, that's the position, right? They're not there to hug everybody and pass out cupcakes, right? So to do the job, each person's got to do their job well, and it's a collaborative effort. And no, we're not all on the same team. We're on definitely different teams. So law enforcement and the state attorney's office they're on the same team 99% of the time. Every once in a while, a prosecutor does something, I go, man, thank you for standing up. And I've had that actually in 2024, 2023. I had several prosecutors that stood up when police did the wrong thing, whether it was a conscious thing that they did it wrong, or they made a mistake, or there's corruption. And I had several prosecutors in the last couple of years stand up and say, no, that's not right, and get rid of the case. And that's pretty cool. There's hope. Now, when you see people that, let me show you. When you see people that are just like, see the red light and they're just going to sit in the intersection and block traffic, then you go, how much hope is there for mankind? But, in the cases I had, there was some hope. So, let's see. Arrived by boat, Intercoastal Lawyer, not Lincoln Lawyer. Oh, how cool would that be, Blue Steel? Intercoastal Lawyer. You're my kind of guy. How cool would that be? Now, in Fort Lauderdale, you can do that, right? But Palm Beach, it's a little harder. It's a few blocks to the water. But I like that idea. Oh, how cool would that be? Intercoastal Lawyer. Oh, what an idea. Talk about something to aim for. Well, I still got a while to go before I could get any kind of house on the Intercoastal. Man, house prices, home prices, crazy. If you want something on the water, my goodness, you get like a box and it's millions of dollars. But intercoastal lawyer. Oh, I like that idea. Oh, I like that idea. Pull it up. Dun, 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 like jump in your boat, go to your backyard in your suit, jump on the boat. Hell, maybe the dog can come, right? And drive the boat down to the water near the courthouse, get off. I don't know, walk 2 blocks and enter the courthouse in Fort Lauderdale, um, or block even. Or in Palm Beach, walk a few blocks, or have a scooter or a golf cart that you could drive over. How cool would that be? Oh, what a good idea. Yeah, that would be cool. Have the big raincoat over the suit on those rainy days, or when the water's a little rough, some galoshes, some rubber boots as you walk into the courthouse and you hear that squeaky sound, and you look like a big, yellow rubber duck. Mr. Foley has arrived. The intercoastal attorney. Oh, that bad Blue Steel. You let my imagination. Your words sparked my imagination, my friend. The intercoastal lawyer. Yeah, baby. How cool would that be? Intercoastal. Yeah, but that would require buying that fancy house. And then, have you looked at boat prices? My goodness, it's just a hole in the water where you dispose of your cash. My wife's like, yeah, we should get a boat. I go, maybe we shouldn't, honey. So we don't have a boat. I think it's much nicer to go out 1, 2, 3 times in a year, rent a boat, have maybe get the captain so you don't even have to do anything, and know where to go and not get lost at sea. Although a few months ago we went out, I guess this was in July, yeah, July 4th, we went out on a boat. A friend came from North Carolina. My in-laws were with us, which again, they're always with us, they live with us, and my brother and sister-in-law and my nephew and my wife's cousin and her husband and their son, and we all go out and we rent a pontoon, and it's someone that my wife knows from work, and we get on and we're going through the intercoastal and we hit a wave, and there's a banging sound, and that little gate, that little walkway that you come in when you get onto the boat, that pops open and water comes gushing in. My God, I literally thought, and I can swim, but like I'm old, I'm getting old, guys. Like I'm not training, I'm so out of shape, and all I could think of was like, my wife's not a good swimmer, right? She doesn't really even swim, And then I was thinking, my in-laws, like they're paranoid of like, doesn't even swim in the pool. He'll only stand where he can stand, and I give him like a floaty to like float, and he's petrified. And I'm going, how am I going to save my nephew? How am I going to save my in-laws? How am I going to save my wife and my chubby butt not drown? I mean, I was very fearful that day. We hit a bump, and I don't know, we're going at like, not even fast, like 10, 15 miles an hour knots. And man, it was, scared the heck out of me. So I got to figure out could there be parking? There could be. It's 8:13. Let's see if we can please find a parking space. Oh, there's still a couple spots. Nice, 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 nice. We're gonna whip this baby around. And they should have motorcycle parking for these guys. They take up a whole spot. That wasn't the best 3-point turn in the world, but there's no one here. Let's see. All right, guys. I've reached my destination, Palm Beach County Courthouse. God bless. Have a wonderful Thursday. and be as productive as possible, and be nice to someone. Be nice to a stranger. I'll talk to you soon. See ya.